Mormons love basketball. It kind of was a gimmick for a long time when, how is this little town of hillbillies good? But I think now we've established ourselves as a real program. We're not one-hit wonders anymore. We've kind of been around for a while. To get to be a Raymond Comet means more than I can explain, I think, in my lack of vocabulary. And it was a dream, everything. It was almost a blur to me.
For decades, 3 small southern Alberta towns have played basketball against the province's most populous schools and won. Why are Raymond, Cardston, and McGrath so good at high school basketball?
I was a Raymond Comet super fan. I could tell you guys that played on any one of these teams. If you look on the wall, I could probably tell you names of players. And that's all I wanted to be. It was the Chicago Bulls of the people watch on TV. For us, it was the Raymond Comets. We wanted to come and see them and be like them, and we imitated them. And I have a lot of respect for the coaches of other teams and for the kids and how hard they work, but I want to beat the crap out of them every time we play them. There's no love lost, and it hurts me in my heart when we don't beat them.
My dad is Alan Tallstrip. He was the oldest of pretty much a legendary basketball family. So being born into a family that basketball ran through their veins, I think I have the Raymond gene. I think that comes from my dad's side. And so when you have a 6-year-old that can't wait to put on a jersey, that's a lot of exposure to commitment and passion and dedication. That's what the kids here do. If they can find an open door to a gym, they're in here. I have a grandson that's 11, he's in grade 6. Well, they're constantly hunting. They constantly have their basketball under their arm, hunting for a place to shoot, right? A place to play, constantly challenging their friends. And so it's a very friendly town that way, whereas you can come in the high school gym and you can shoot and you can work on your skills. And in a lot of city schools, you can't do that anymore. I wish I could just tell you it's the water we drink, it's the cereal we eat, but it's just such a long-standing tradition of excellence. And nobody wants to be the one that lowers that bar.
Cardston is a dry community of 3,500 people nestled in Alberta's rolling foothills near the U.S. border. The town was settled by American Mormons in 1887.
We hate to use the word, but it's almost like a religion for some of the kids, and they do. They grow up there. You'll notice that when you go out at halftime out here that these kids are all pretending and I've heard this before. I've heard the comments that they will take a player on the team and they will pretend like they're him.
We're in a Mormon community, and so there's churches and gyms everywhere, and so there's lots of access to play. And that's all we wanted to do as kids is to play basketball. And we're always talking about our rivals. We're always talking about McGrath and Raymond, who are typically our rivals. I remember as a young kid, my dad would take us to the ball games here, and I'd go home and I'd practice in our own little bedroom. We had these little Nerf hoops, and I just wanted to be a Cougar so bad, and I just thought I'd died and gone to heaven. I mean, that was just the biggest thing for me. And I remember playing my last game as a Cougar, and I just couldn't believe when it was over. I was just devastated, now what am I going to do?
Even though McGrath High School has less than 200 students, the school's technology is far advanced from many city schools.
I believe we're the smallest school in the province that plays 4A boys basketball. And so we take a lot of pride in the fact that we're able to take a very large portion of our student body and go compete against some of the city schools that have 2,000 students in them. With some of the history and tradition in our communities, we have former alumni that live all over between Canada and the United States, and they often want to be able to follow and see how their siblings, their cousins, their relatives are doing at different times. And so through the use of media, we've been able to jump on board, and we've started live streaming a lot of our basketball games. The funny thing is after the game, I can go home, and it's interesting to watch the number of players that go home and then watch the video of themselves and doing all they can to study and analyze to make themselves better.